Hello and welcome to the Gas Safe Charity YouTube video channel. My name is Hilary Bath and along with my colleague Simon Main, we developed the Think CO programme for the Gas Safe charity. A little bit about the charity. It's a UK-wide charity, the primary purpose of which is to make all of us more gas safe and gas aware. And one of the programmes that it funds and invests in is the Think CO programme. Think CO is all about making us all more aware of the dangers of carbon monoxide risks in our homes. So there are 4 YouTube videos covering the sources, signs and symptoms of carbon monoxide risks in the home. The first one that you may have already watched is an introduction to carbon monoxide. The second is this one, which is about the sources of CO around the home. Then there's a third about the signs and symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning. And lastly, there's one about how to help protect yourself from CO risks, in particular looking at the servicing of gas appliances and also a bit about carbon monoxide detectors. So this video is about the sources of CO around the home. Before we discuss those in a little bit more detail, we thought we'd actually take a little refresher and have a look at how carbon monoxide is formed. So carbon monoxide is produced when carbon-based fuels such as gas, oil, coal and wood don't burn fully. So it's important to remember that it's not just mains gas and mains gas appliances that could be a potential source of CO. Carbon monoxide is formed where there's a faulty appliance or flue, or perhaps a blocked flue or chimney, which results in there not being enough oxygen for that appliance to burn correctly and effectively. And as a result, carbon monoxide can be formed. CO is found in very low levels as well as dangerously high levels. So on to the sources of carbon monoxide in the home. The first 3 are gas boiler, a gas cooker and a gas fire are the main ones that we concentrate on, simply because they are the main sources of CO incidents in people's homes across the UK. The reason for that is simply that most of us actually heat our homes using mains gas, and simply if those appliances are therefore not working, they become the main sources of CO incidents in people's homes. There's also, though, LPG and calogas can be a source of CO. Then there's wood burning stoves as well, increasingly common and popular. But if those stoves are not fitted correctly or the flue is faulty, then CO can be formed as a result and come back into the home. And it's the same with coal fires. If there's something wrong with the chimney or the chimney is blocked, then CO can be formed as a result of burning the coal. This picture is simply about to try and remind us that this is about a large cooking utensil, which is actually on a normal domestic 4-ring gas stove. Those gas stoves are designed to have 4 utensils on them, not one large one. And as a result, if you put a large utensil on it, it means that there's not enough oxygen actually getting through to the stove. And there have been some incidents of CO being formed as a result of cooking like this. This one was actually raised, this source was raised as, by a fire and rescue service to us. And that is simply the results of the ash that's come out of a coal fire or a wood burning stove. Always safe, but always obviously clear your grate, etc. But always take the ashes outside after you've done it. Don't leave them inside the house, because there's been a few incidents of people being poisoned by CO because those ashes will still be giving off CO a couple of hours later. Then there's for people in particular who like camping and caravanning, that's a gas-fired fridge, gas-powered fridge. And if that gas is not working on that fridge, there have been some incidents of CO in that circumstance when the gas isn't functioning properly on the fridge. And then also this is a UK-wide project, and therefore we also talk about peat here, because peat is still burnt in some parts of Scotland and in some parts of Northern Ireland as a fuel and heating source. So other sources in the home. If you smoke, you will actually have more CO in your system as a result of smoking. It's one of the byproducts. But also just be aware that actually if you're working in the home where there's a smoker, that actually there will be high levels of CO in that home as a result of the smoking that's taking place in it. Shisha pipes, you're burning charcoal in that instance, and as a result, especially in badly ventilated enclosed spaces, there have been some incidents of CO poisoning as a result of smoking shisha pipes inside. If you're working in rural areas anywhere across the UK, then oil-fired heating systems is another form or another source of CO, potential CO poisoning. That's a paraffin heater. Again, if the heater's not functioning very well, paraffin is carbon-based fuel and therefore has the potential to form CO as a byproduct. We use this picture as well as a sort of a generic photograph, just to raise the awareness about petrol engines and diesel engines as being a source of CO. If that engine isn't functioning very well, whether it's on a car or whether it's on a lawnmower, then if it's being tinkered with and played around inside and it's not functioning very well, then there are certainly some incidents of CO as a result. The important thing is to remember is the same as in that photograph. It's just make sure that you've got the garage door open or that you're actually doing the tinkering outside. And there's also, of course, the classic British barbecue. We all love them, but actually barbecues are a source of CO poisoning, especially if they're brought inside. Barbecues are very safe to use, just don't use them inside, whether it's inside a house or inside a tent or a caravan. And remember, people's homes are very different these days where people actually live. So also CO can be found on places such as barges and boats. In particular, a boat like that, a canal barge like that, will actually probably have on it some oil-fired central heating and also a wood-burning stove. So just be aware that it's not necessarily just in a house where you can actually find CO. We mentioned already about caravans and camping and caravans, but caravans, whether they are static caravans where people live or the caravans that we use for our holidays and vacations, that can be a potential source, in particular back to gas heating and also those gas fridges. That unfortunately is a photograph of a real forensic incident where someone inside that tent died as a result of bringing a barbecue inside the tent. I think because it was raining outside. That's the suspicion. So as a result, they unfortunately died in that tent. So just remember, again, use barbecues, but always, always use them outside. And it's a gas. And as a result, it can move around quite freely. And so just be aware that actually CO and a CO incident can actually come in from the house next door, whether it's a terrace property like in that photograph, or whether or not it's a semi-detached property as well. So if there's a fault with an appliance next door, with a flue, with a fitting, then the CO can actually come through from next door. So always be aware what's actually happening in surrounding properties. That was also, we used that as a prompt to remind us of an unfortunate situation that happened in a Thomas Cook rented villa in Corfu a few years ago, where unfortunately 2 young boys died as a result of CO poisoning, coming from a gas-powered water heater that was in the room in which they were sleeping. The water heater was malfunctioning, and as a result, the 2 young boys died. What it ended up with after some time is that Thomas Cook ended up, when they existed, in leading the way in terms of the holiday industry, in terms of raising awareness of CO and encouraging us when we go abroad or when we stay in a tent or a cottage in this country to actually take a CO detector with us, just to make sure, just in case there isn't actually one in the property. And then we've had this one in particular raised with us from environmental health officers who have pointed out the rise of people living above restaurants or takeaways in towns and city centres. And there have been some incidents where the ventilation in that restaurant or the takeaway has not been as good as it should, especially when they're using barbecue inside to actually cook with. And as a result, there have been some deaths and also some incidents of CO poisoning in people who are living above those properties. So that's your sources of CO, and remembering it's not just in a house as well. A little bit about the Think CO programme. You're welcome to sign up to our newsletter or ask us any questions at thinkco@gassafecharity.org.uk. And there's also, you're welcome to register for the e-learning course, which is free, which is, all you've got to do is to email us at elearning@gassafecharity.org.uk. Thank you for listening today about the sources of CO, and I hope you enjoy the other videos as well. Thank you.